Welcome to Woodshop 101. This is episode 135 for September 10th, 2018. On today's show, we're going to talk about dealing with setbacks with a small business. I'm Jeremy Crawford of the Countryside Workshop, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Drew Short of Rock-n H Woodshop, and Sam Wooddell of Sam Ryan Designs, although she's not here just yet, and our guest host, Ryan MacDonald from MacNWood over on Instagram. What's going on, guys?
It's happening.
We're going across the borders now. We're going global.
Yeah,
we're in Canada now.
We're international now.
North America, anyways.
Is he our first international guest?
I think so.
Really?
It just kind of hit me. I don't think we've gone outside the U.S. yet.
I don't think we have either.
Well, I feel privileged.
Setting records.
All right.
That's what Sam would always say.
Yeah,
Setting records.
Sam Raimondi, because right, she was the first one we had on twice, and she's like, "Oh, I'm setting records now."
Yep.
And then she stuck around, and then she wised up and was like, "These dudes are jokers. I'm leaving."
Yeah.
These dudes are jokers.
I'm out. I gotta get out.
Why am I wasting my time?
She's like, I can't be a doctor and associate with these two.
My credibility's going into crapper. Oh, well, we want to thank our patrons, John Ramminger, Sean McHenry, Carl Mose, Neil Sims, and Eric Rhoten for donating to the cause. We want to thank you guys very much for keeping the lights on around here. And if you would like to support the show, you can head on over to woodshop101podcast.com/listen. Find the show notes for today's episode, and there will be links for small one-time donations and reoccurring donations. If you want to become a patron to the Patreon campaign, then just head over to patreon.com/woodshop101. All our patrons receive an after show twice a month as a benefit. So those are things you don't want to miss. You can also support the show by buying a Woodshop 101 podcast t-shirt, hoodie, or Rev Marker pack. We have new styles that are out, I believe, that are coming out, actually. Some new colors and new styles, so be on the lookout for that. Just head on over to countrysideworkshop.com/shop for that link.
So, all right. Well, let's talk about a little bit what's going on in the shop. You want to go first, Drew?
Yeah, today, and actually this week, because it's been kind of a short week with holidays. With my wife was off Monday and Tuesday because my daughter was out Monday and Tuesday for Labor Day, and then her normal day off of Wednesday. So I didn't get anything done in the shop for the first 3 days of this week. So today I spent working on a few more cutting board blanks because I just delivered a barn door last week. So I've got 2 more barn doors that are slated to begin next week, and I'll probably work on some more of those tornado birdhouses that I still have yet to complete. I'm trying to work them in, so it's just slow going for those things.
How many more of those do you have to build?
6. I'm right now building 9, and I got to build 6 more.
Okay. Not bad. So, yeah, it sounds like you're pretty productive outside of the holiday time frame.
Yeah,
so.
Not too bad. Like I said, I didn't get any work done over the weekend. I did go play golf on Saturday. That's productive, right?
True.
Hey.
I didn't even know you golfed.
A bad day at golf is better than a good day at work.
That's right. Yeah, I golf. Not very often, but I do golf.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to come down and see you. We're going to go play some...
Hey, any day.
Oh.
Well,
bring your A game.
Well, look, you should just come down here, like, I think in August. I think August of every year is when Sam comes down, and she stays on Kiawah Island, which is, like, some of the best golfing on the East Coast. So, it's just...
Whereabouts?
The Kiawah Island is, like, 10 minutes, 15 minutes from me here in South Carolina.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but yet, every time she's come down, I just ask her if she's yet to come see me. It's harder for me to go to see her because Kiawah's a private island.
Right.
So I would have to either get on to the golf course or something like that. But like to go to the resort, it's harder to get onto the island to do that. And she's like, "Oh, I was so busy and I forgot." I'm like, "Dad, I live like a stone's throw from that.
She doesn't play golf. She doesn't play golf.
I have
does
the
she?
best seafood up here by me, not down there by you. Go on, come on." So,
All right.
Earl, Ryan, what do you
I'll
got
give
going
you
on?
that one. Man, for me, it's just trying to get in the shop. I'm sure a few of you out there know that I'm about 11 months in on post-concussion, so my days in the shop are few and in between. But I've gotten there a few days, and right now, while I'm off, I'm just trying to get things organized. So,
I saw your SketchUp that you've been working on, trying to get your shop layout down.
Yeah, while I was busy doing the thing before the concussion, everyone's like, "Oh, you need to learn SketchUp," and I was like, I tried it, and I just got frustrated because I don't have the time. I'm like, it's too simple for me to draw what I want to build and go from there. But since I've been off, I've been learning SketchUp, and yeah, that SketchUp shop organizer, oh my gosh, it's pretty awesome. Like, there is pretty much every tool that you can imagine or what you have in your shop right there to download free into the program.
Yep.
So you put the dimensions of your shop and you get to dial in everything. And if something's not quite right, like there's a couple, like my bandsaw, they don't have my exact bandsaw, but something very close. So you get to put that in there. And so that's what I've tried to do, is get the shop organized, because when you start a business on the fly, your shop basically gets put up and functional.
Yep.
Right? So,
Yeah. Do you have the paid version of SketchUp?
no, I just do the free. I'm not even using the current. I think it's 2015.
I thought that like the layout function was only for like the paid version.
Well, that's for making like cut lists and stuff like that. He's talking about like the 3D warehouse.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's been good. Like, you just go into the 3D warehouse, you type in Grizzly 8-inch joiner, and it comes up with their list of whatever. You pick the one closest and put it in, and it's been awesome. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Not much.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. You're making recovery. That's important.
Hey, if I can get in there for 2 hours once a week, right now, that's a huge bonus for me.
So is your shop part of your, like, attached to your property, to your house, or do you have a standalone shop somewhere?
No, so when it all first started, like, this is a long. What do we got? 4 hours for this podcast?
Well, let's not push it. Just,
No, long story short, about 4 years ago, I had a heart attack, like unexpected, out of the blue, 1 in a million, piece of plaque. I ride motocross, and we're in the mountain. A piece of plaque dislodged and caused 100% block in my main artery, and I didn't want to go to the hospital because it was a technical ride. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I broke a rib. Same symptoms. I've done it before. And everyone was like, my wife included, was like, no, you need to go to the hospital. So it ended up being a heart attack, and I got rushed to a different hospital. They put an angio, 100% block in my main artery. And then after that, it was basically like, you need to take it easy, and then everything that comes with that life-altering situation, which is what has now become my motto. Like, I get to. Other than that, it was just, I just had to go through my thing. I went through everything, and then I took about a year off from the shop, and then I got back in there, and that's when the business started. So, what was the question again? This is how the brain works.
No,
right
no,
now.
you're cool. Does your shop actually reside on your property, or do you got like a commercial
Right.
space or something?
That's how it all started. Okay, so in my recovery from the heart attack, I was always pretty good with my hands, and I developed a shop in my garage, and I live in a townhouse. So there's multiple people around me. And it got to a point where I really loved it, fell in love with it, and I wanted to pursue it. But it's illegal to run a wood shop out of a townhouse. So I contacted my wife's parents, and we were like, I really want to go with this and see where it goes. And they had a garage that was basically for storage, and like, use our garage, which was about 25 minutes away from our house. But it was no problem. So, got in there, and that's where my shop is. So it's not at my house, but it's about 20 minutes away, and it's essentially my house away from my house.
Yeah.
So
essentially, it's good. So you say, "Hey, I'm going to go to work," and you're actually going to work. Like that's one of the biggest factors that I find, like having my shop attached to my house. I think it would even be better if I just had a garage, like a detached garage, to use in the shop. But for the fact of it being attached, like you walk in, you're like, I'm gonna go get a drink of water, and then you waste like 45 minutes, and then an hour later, or you're just like, I'm gonna sit down, watch like 20 minutes of TV, or do this or that, whatever it is, and then like before you know it, you're like, where did the day go? So.
But
That's-
on the flip side, you're sitting there in a detached garage going, I really need to pee. Gotta go to the bathroom.
Make yourself in a house.
no, you know what? It is both of those things. So when I was doing it part-time as a hobby, I was in my garage. It was great. And then the thing I really liked was I get to go to work and do my thing. And when I come home, it's over. So that is one kind of big advantage of being somewhat close, where I don't have to drive 45 minutes to go to work, or an hour and a half to go to work. I can drive 20 minutes. I go to work. I can stay there. And I'm pretty lucky that it's my in-laws who I am really close with. So it's like home away from home. So, but I do miss having that. You know what I miss is when I finish a project. So, you got to put finish on, you got to wait a couple hours, put sand down, put a second coat on. That's what I miss most about being in my home shop, because I could, at 8:00, put a finish on. 2 hours later at 10, I can come out, sand, put a third coat on. And even an hour later, because a lot of my finishes are water-based, I can come back out, put the third coat on, and not leave my house.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm away from the shop, that becomes hard. Now the finishing day becomes a day. And because it's a small shop, it really restricts me to that one day, which adds to everything else. So yeah, it's a love-hate.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's with anything, I mean, the grass is greener on the other side. Oh, you wish you had a standalone shop somewhere else, but then you have the setbacks of or not the luxurious aspect of being at your own property.
Yeah.
You know, now if you're like in a commercial space with like a toilet and like a little office you can go work at between coats to do some, you know, paperwork, computer work, whatever, then I guess maybe it's, you know, you start to get back some of those luxuries. But for the most part, usually, I guess it makes sense. If you only have like a 2-car garage on somebody else's property, it's kind of difficult to have those luxuries. So
yeah,
all
but
right.
I don't have the payment. So
Hey, that's a plus too.
Before my concussion, I was really close to getting in on a pretty good sized shop where I'd have to pay a rent, so to speak. And looking back, I'm pretty glad I didn't close on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, everything works out for the reasons.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have a whole lot going on in the shop. Not this week. In fact, my last shop day was last Wednesday. And in fact, it was not even in my own shop. I loaded up all my workbench components and headed to a local cabinet shop / hardwood dealer, and used some of their larger machines. Just made things a little bit easier. My little lunchbox planer wasn't quite as powerful enough to get to eat up on some of the slabs. Didn't weigh enough, so just I was trying to push like the workbench tops through it. It's just moving the planer around, and it just got to the point where it was unsafe. I was getting more frustrated, so I just loaded the stuff up, called my buddies over there, and told them I was going to come on by. And so I got to use their, I don't know, I think it's like 16-inch wide joiner. And it had an auto feed system, which makes that easy. They threw it in their 30-inch wide planer. I got to follow up with their, you know, like 54-inch like wide belt sander, and then just the simplicity of the commercial tools having 12-inch blades, so that, you know, their sliding table saw, their crosscut table saw, and their rip saw just made it easy to get the slabs cut down. So the work that would have taken me at least a full solid day, if not 2 days, in the shop doing, I knocked out in 45 minutes at their shop, which was a big bonus. And I had help. You know, their shop hand, my buddy's hand, was able to just like help me lift the stuff around, get it moved where I wanted it, get the tool set up quickly. So that was the bonus. I was hoping to have the workbench pretty much wrapped up by now, but we went on vacation for the long weekend. Tennessee, kind of just like decompress. It was our last like kind of vacation for probably a while. Because Kendra started a new job, and then I got a bunch more travel with my day job coming up. So I been playing single dad this week, you know, just trying to do the family stuff, doing a little bit of computer work. I've done a lot. In fact, I mean, nonstop, I've done a lot of computer work, a lot of stuff, a lot of behind the scenes stuff to get the cutting board build off up and running smoothly, and trying to make things a little bit simpler from last year to manage. This has been a lot of computer work, but not a lot of shop time. And I don't know. I'm going to try to maybe get in a few hours tomorrow, but if not, then it'll be no shop time until almost October for me, because I'll be out of town. But I'll try to occupy my time with hanging out with other woodworkers in their shops and stuff while I'm gone. So maybe get my hands on somebody else's tools. So
get away.
Yeah,
not your saw.
Yeah,
not your
people
saw.
be like, I didn't invite you over. You can't just show up at my house. So
Wipe your chin.
Yeah. No, I at least have one invite from Lynn over at Darbin Orver. She invited me over for a beer and hang out in her shop for a while. So I'll try to see if I can get that squeezed in. She's actually be about an hour from where I'll be staying. But if I can get that worked out, then maybe I'll be able to do that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So Sam, what's going on in your shop? Oh, right. You're not here.
Oh wait, is that my cue to put on my wig?
Yes. Yes, in your
If you
in your
won't.
Sam voice.
Wait, I'm in the playroom, so we're gonna put this and this. Does that act as blonde?
You gotta twirl the gun though while you're at it.
Oh,
There you go.
no.
No,
I'm in the playroom. I got minimal options.
So
It's Nerf guns or pocket skateboards. That's it.
like I remember those pocket skateboards from
Right?
from like middle school.
Yeah.
They used to be called like, oh man, Tech Decks or something.
Yeah, Tech Deck.
Tech
That's
Deck,
what
Tech
it is.
Deck. Yeah, Tech Deck. That's it.
Tech Deck.
And you used to could
And they
modify
got-
them, like trade out the trucks and stuff on them.
You got the whole ramp. You can come up, do your salsy.
Yeah, see, look at that. Just bring back the middle
And they
school
got
days.
little BMX.
Yeah, see, I
bikes.
remember
I
the
did the
little
BMX
bikes too.
bikes. Yeah,
remember
I
the
remember
bikes,
the
too.
bikes.
Oh gosh, my boys are so into that.
Yeah,
I mean,
used to
as my boys, I mean the three of us.
Yeah,
I love it too. It's so fun.
that's me. My wife's always like, "What's your dad doing?" He's up there playing with my toys. He's up there playing with my toy kitchen, Mom. Lennon, get up here and eat your eggs. Stop telling on me.
Man, my boys are so close in age. Well, they're 9 and 6, but my 6-year-old is just as big as my 9-year-old. So everything is a competition. So they bring me in and they're like, "Dad, I can beat you. Who can ollie the biggest?" And it's, of course, me. I'm in there too. I kind of think that's where they get it from. So
It's got to be because it doesn't change. I got an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they're just as competitive.
oh yeah, like
So
they've been competitive since birth.
So
Well, it's kind of fortuitous that we have you on the show here, Ryan, because we're kind of talking about how to
stop
deal
using
with
fancy words.
small.
Yeah.
I looked that one up. I was told to use it in a sentence, so there you go.
Is that the word of the day?
What's that?
Fortuitous.
I'm looking on my dictionary.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Don't ask me either.
Anyway.
So, but we're talking about how to deal with small business setbacks, not small setbacks, but small business setbacks. So, yeah. You have had a couple of setbacks, like you said, your heart attack and your concussion that you're dealing with now. What kind of changes have you had to make? Because you've tried to get back in the shop, and you had talked to me earlier about this, and like I said, we'll learn more about this on the show, but what have you had to change with your business to kind of get over this little hump?
Well, so when it first happened, without going into the details, I got hit in my head by playing with my kids, and I got knocked out for 15, 20, maybe 1 second, depending on a 9 and 6-year-old's perspective of everything. But I felt kind of weird, and then I went back to work, and I was working, and then after about a week, I was having I just couldn't concentrate, and I came home one day and my wife was like, "What is going on?" And I was stumbling all over the place. I couldn't think. And then, of course, I took a week off. I'm like, I just need a week rest. And if you're a small business, taking a week off is like, it's so bad. Like you lose a lot.
And
So-
to really, your brain doesn't rest then either, because you're like, oh man, I got all this stuff to do. I really shouldn't be sitting here like relaxing.
Yeah.
So,
But I didn't know that. So I took a week off. I started feeling okay. And I went back. And when you go back after you're a small business and you take a week off, you literally have to work 3 times as hard and 3 times as long to make up for the week that you took off, because as anyone knows who's self-employed, you take a week off, it's pretty much like taking 3 weeks to a month off. So I worked like 14 hours for about 4 days, and I came home one day and my wife was just like, you're not acting right. This is not okay. And then I got checked out. And so about a week after that, I had to shut down the business, and that was really hard. So it's been a hard go for the last 10 months.
What have you had to do during those 10 months because you can't work out in the shop?
So first thing you do here in Canada, we applied for disability. So if you're not working, hopefully and I pay for an insurance company to help me when I'm hurt or whatever. And that just takes forever. So it took, I think it was 7 months to get it. Yeah. So I went 7 months without a paycheck. So we really had to change our entire lifestyle. But not that I really know, because that whole 7 months, I was in bed with 24/7 migraine headaches. So I never left my bed for close to 7.5 months. Yeah, it was bad. And then we finally, I'm sure it's a lot different from where I am to where you guys are in Canada and the US. But I finally, with doctors, I had MRIs, I had everything tested, and finally I got on disability. And it's been a struggle because you don't make a lot of money on disability. So we're basically a one income family, and we just make do. You got to make changes, and I get to go through that. I mean, one of my biggest things is when I went through my heart attack was I came across a phrase that my wife told me, and it was 3 simple words: I get to. And it changed my life. Like, if I didn't go through what I went through with my heart attack, I'm not sure I'd be sitting here talking with you guys and hanging out and having a good time, because dealing with a concussion is completely different. So, yeah, it's been a big struggle, a big change. But I look forward to the day I get back there.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait.
Well, and like you were saying too, it wasn't necessarily your speech that was impaired. It was like your thought processes on what you wanted to say. It was hard to get your point across because you knew what you wanted to say. It just wouldn't come out that way.
Yeah. So exactly like what you're saying, I would know what I want to say when someone asked me a question, but there'd be like a 30-second delay almost. So it's kind of like when you get online and you're trying to work everything out, but there's a delay. So that's how my brain worked. And I went to a concussion place, and the best example I explained to everyone, and they explained to me, was picture a snow globe. Snow globe, everything is settled on the bottom. Everything's working good. You shake it up, and everything's kind of all over the place. That's what happens when you have a concussion. So all your brain is scrambled, and eventually it settles back down. And as opposed to a snow globe that settles down in a minute or two, this takes months, sometimes years. So, yeah.
So what kind of prognosis have you been given for your concussion right now?
Well, right now, so I've seen a neuro, I've seen everyone, and basically where I'm at right now is I have post-concussion syndrome. So it's my brain's just not settled like the snow globe that I just referenced. So eventually it will settle and it will get better. So right now is just exercise, your diet, all that kind of things just will put yourself in the smallest amount of stress, which we just were on vacation. It was great. Come home at school. So now my anxiety, which makes that snow globe move around a little bit more. So minimize the stress, which is huge. And time. That's what everyone, time and time and time. That's basically how I'll get through it.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of that, and it goes with, physical injuries and, broken bones or whatnot. A positive mindset helps build you back up and helps you keep moving forward, always looking. I think that's one of the biggest things that has always been set into me is stop looking. Don't always just look for that negative. Like I tell my son that all the time. Even when it comes into like the small things, like he wants to play some Xbox before he goes to bed or whatever, and he comes home and he's got a bunch of homework. He's got to read. We still got to do dinner. He's got to take a bath, and and he's like, well, I guess I'm just not going to play Xbox tonight, guy. I got all this stuff. All this stuff is telling me no. I got to busy. And it's just like, sit back and like, stop being so negative about it. Like if you think about, okay, here's my end goal, right? My end goal is to play that Xbox. So how can I get there? Okay, let me get this homework done. Okay, well, Dad, while you cook dinner, I'm going to go take that shower and go ahead and get my pajamas on or whatever, get ready for bed, get my backpack repacked. So that way, as soon after dinner, like I'm ready to go. And now I have time, right? You just figured out how to fix that problem. And a lot of it's staying positive and not being negative about it. And that goes the same thing, with an injury. Whether you have a table saw injury, you get, unfortunately cut off a finger or whatever. That's not the end. It doesn't defeat you. If you let it defeat you, then you're going to live a whole life full of misery. I think that's the biggest thing that I've always tried to take forward, that my parents instilled into me, is always just trying to be positive and think about the solution behind it, how to get to where your end goal is. So it's really nice to see that you're positive. You haven't let it defeat you, man. You've gotten out. You're joking. You're getting on. You're still talking to everybody. You just didn't shut yourself off from that part of the world. Which is good. You let your friends help build you up, and then you waste your time listening to us. I don't know. I guess you need a good joke every once in a while.
Absolutely. Even before today, today has been so the kids have been back in school, and I'm really tired. But you know what? Coming on here, I'm like, it's a goal. So when you get dealt with setbacks, you have to have a goal of where you want to go. And as simple as it is, just to talk with a few other people, it's a goal. And I was tired before today. And then when we started hanging out just before, it kind of brought that, I had the mindset okay, I'm going to make the best of it. And then we start talking, and it's uplifting. We're like-minded people. It really helps. So I'm 100% believer in mind over matter. A positive attitude will get you what you want. So, and I've been, in the last 4 years, been through a couple pretty doozies that unfortunately, a lot of people don't make it through.
Yeah.
And I want to take what I've been through and share it with people and talk about it. And when I started talking about my concussion, I've had, it's got to be over 1,000 people just reach out and talk about their experience. And I'm one for trying to reply to as much as I can. And it's been amazing. And I tell my doctors even about, oh, I met this person who I talked to through Instagram, what they've been through, and they've really helped me and to see a different side of it. And I like to think I'm a pretty positive person, but this injury is so dark.
Yeah.
And if I can reach out and tell people that you're not alone, people are willing to help. Like, it's just so dark.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
Even when
I can imagine, just because you don't have a clear thought process, man. And sometimes I can't imagine the people that they go deaf in their later part of their life, or something happens, they lose their eyesight. Like you've grown up with all these senses. You've grown up with being able to hear, with being able to see, with having clear speech, and having that clear thought process, and then all of a sudden, like you can't figure out what's going on. Like I can't imagine how that is for people.
No, and you don't want to be honest. Like, until you're in that person's shoes, you really don't want to imagine. With a concussion, you're in bed. You're by yourself. You're not willing to talk to anyone for a long time. And I've made pretty awesome relationships with people who have gone through similar circumstances that I'm going through, or maybe a little more, or even less, who I get to learn from the people who have gone through more than I have. And I get to take that and tell the people who have a little less symptoms like I have, and say, it's okay. It's going to work. This is what I did. Try this. This is what someone told me to do, and I've tried it, and it's worked. Like, the community is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
See, my mother-in-law actually went through a pretty severe concussion because she got thrown from a horse, and has suffered the post-concussion syndrome as well. And she still has some issues with memory and thought process and depression even.
Yeah.
So she's kind of going through all that as well. So I can relate in a third party perspective, kind of like just knowing you. I know her in that same respect. But yeah, I've experienced migraines, but I'm sure nothing like what you go through.
How long ago was that?
Well, she's been thrown from the horse twice, but this particular instance was over, I think it was like a year and a half. No, it was around 2 years ago, because it was around my birthday. So, I mean, she's better. She still suffers with the depression as a little bit, but I think she had that prior to that as well, and that just kind of compounded the fact. So she still is kind of getting over that whole thing.
It's alarming to me how much people get closed off when they want to talk about anxiety or depression. Like, if you look at the statistics, and it's like 1 in 3 people are suffering from anxiety or depression. And I suffer from both. And I consider myself a very positive guy. And like, I suffer from both anxiety and depression. And it's amazing if you reach out and just even put a smidge of what you go through to the public, how many amazing people will come and back you up. But it seems like a lot of people are afraid to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I've been trying and excuse my thought process because it doesn't really work. But I've been trying to make that more aware that it is okay to talk about it in a public place. And more people should, because when I started talking about it, and like I always go back, I'm a really positive guy, and that is what has got me to this place. But there have been dark places, and it happens in life. It happens in woodworking. It happens. I know we're here as a woodworking channel or podcast, but you go through business like that, and things don't go as you see them going, and you start dipping into this self-doubt, this, oh, why isn't this being as successful as whoever that I see? I'm doing the same thing they are. And it really, mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Well, I haven't suffered this kind of setback.
Yeah.
But I've had my share. As soon as I started my business full time and I left my security of my job and health insurance and paychecks and all of that, I was coming home from picking up several walnut slabs, and I needed to put them up in my shop to dry for the year. And in the process of putting the third one up, I dislocated my left shoulder. And I barely got it up on the shelf, and my left shoulder just dropped. And I was sitting there holding it by my fingertips, and my wife was luckily there to help me get it pushed up the rest of the way. But, oh, my God, I never felt so much pain in my shoulder in all my life. It almost made me want to throw up. But I am still struggling with the pain, the aftermath of that dislocation. I never had it looked at because I didn't want to start using my health insurance that I just got. Yeah. So I've just been nursing it myself, trying to do therapy. So I just started setting little goals for myself to try and get it strengthened back up, because I know that the reason it dislocated is because my shoulder was weak. The muscles that hold the shoulder girdle were weak, and you need to strengthen those back up in order to keep it from dislocating again. So that's just what I've been working on. And now I have found that and my wife's going to hate me for this, but golf actually makes it feel better.
So what you're saying is you need more time on the golf course.
I need a prescription from my doctor saying more golf.
Perfect. Oh, no, it makes total sense. Like, I tore my rotator, 10 years ago. I need surgery. I could only throw a baseball with my kids for so long, and it just kills me. But it's the pride part of you that's like, oh, I don't really want to get it checked out. It's the same thing that happens in woodworking. It's the pride part of you that says, I don't need to sit back and look at my business strategies. Right? It's all relevant. It all comes back to whatever you're into.
Yeah.
So,
but as long as you stay positive and, like you said, set goals for yourself, keep that right frame of mind, and just mind over matter, you will get better.
Yeah.
No matter what your setback is.
Yeah.
Goals,
it's defeat, man. Don't let it defeat you. That's the biggest thing. I mean, it could be right. It could be the small thing of, I only got one commission this month, right? So this month's gonna be short. We're gonna hurt this month. Don't let that defeat you. Don't let that discourage you. Hustle it out for the next month, right? To pull in those commissions the next month. Those injuries. I mean, I have dealt with my fair share of injuries, especially being in the service, and just putting my body through everything, between like 4 bulge discs in the back, and 4 bone spurs in the neck, and no cartilage left in the neck, and messed up right shoulder, knee, everything. Like it compounds on each other. But at the end of the day, like, okay, how can I overcome that stuff, right? Like Drew said, work out, strengthen them, and then you learn how to compensate for it, especially in the shop. Every once in a while I catch myself, like the other day. I was just lunging these massive slabs around for the workbench top, and I knew I shouldn't have. They weighed when they were full out 250 pounds each, but easy. And I'm just sitting there slamming them around the shop, trying to get them through the planer, and just not caring. And then at the end of the day, like the next day, I hurt really bad. Some of the worst I've hurt in a while. And then you step back and you go, you know what? That's not that smart decision. I won't do that again. Right? So you learn, like, okay, if I need to move this big thing, I need to get the help to do it. Right?
But do you?
Do I?
We all face that.
Yeah.
We all go through exactly what you just talked about.
I usually don't ask for help. I usually push through it. But
yeah, no.
at the end of the day, like, my body's getting to the point now that, like, it hurts so more often and much more. I don't even know. I can't even speak English.
Sorry, Jeremy. I don't mean to call you out on that.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. Like, it doesn't. Like, people, and that's the deal. But you have to know your limitations, right? And at some point, you have to pull on those limitations. Because if I want to be working in the shop for long term, and that's my goal, right? My goal is to retire in 6 years and work for myself. I don't want to be so broken down in those 6 years because I didn't take care of myself now. So that's taking care of yourself is definitely like a big part of owning a business or not doing this as a hobby. Like, right? You do it because it's a passion. You enjoy it. If you don't take care of yourself inside the shop and outside the shop, you're going to start regretting things. You're start hating it. You're going to get out there. And I think one of the biggest things, and like I just bought AC for the shop. Finally, like I was complaining about it, and when I say I bought AC for the shop, my wife physically forced me to Lowe's, and I walked in, I was like, hey, I don't see the one I want, and I was leaving, and she was like, nope, we're buying this one right here, boom. And I was like, well, I don't really like that one. She's like, well, then you better pick out what you want because we're walking out here with AC. And so, like, just to do that, because like I'm not taking care of myself out there. Like I'm getting in the goal. I'm working. I'm not drinking as much water as I should. I'm sweating over everything. I'm coming in a bad mood because I'm just miserable. And like that's part of taking care of that mental health is being happy where you're at, enjoying what you do. And so, she's like, hey, you're going to do it. Like that's it. I don't want to hear you complain about it anymore. Like if you're going to complain about it, fix it. Right. So having that solution.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
All right. Well, that's some good topic. Let's jump into a little bit of product recommendations. Something that, it's a product or a service that you want to recommend. What's something that you want to throw out to our listeners, Ryan?
Well, for me,
it's not that blonde wig to match Sam. Sorry, you can't do that.
Yeah, people have been telling me about it for a long time. And when I was full-time going, I was like, I don't have time for it. And then the last couple months where I've been feeling good, I've taught myself to learn SketchUp. And oh my God, like I've been going crazy designing beds for my boys in their room, designing a huge entertainment unit that we desperately need in our living room, and tables. And I've just been experimenting, and because I've had the time right now to spend 20 minutes here, an hour there, 5 minutes here over the last couple months to learn it. And I'd say SketchUp is one of my number one things that I wish I took the time to learn 3 years ago.
I could not agree with you more. SketchUp it took my woodworking to a new level because I was able to plan out everything so well and visualize how I wanted to do my joinery and
Yeah.
And it's just minute changes that learning on the fly or building on the fly can totally screw up a batch of wood that you have.
I've been there, dude. Like
Yeah.
well, a lot of me. So my whole Instagram stories career started with the table where I showed every process, every bad thing I went through. And I ended up redoing this ribbon mahogany table twice. So I didn't make a cent on it. I probably lost money. Oh, I did lose money. I know the numbers, but I'm not going to share it. So I lost a lot of money, but I couldn't send it out. But if I had that SketchUp plan, knew how everything was going to work, even if I'd screwed up, it wouldn't be as bad as what it was. Working on the fly will always get you when you're trying to do this for money.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for yourself or your own thing, it doesn't matter because your time is you're paying yourself for your time. So, but if you have a client and you're doing this as income, you need to have a plan. Yep. And SketchUp is, I wish I knew it 3 years ago.
And that's one of those things, like, you'll start building stuff in SketchUp and you may not get all the way through a model. You may be like, all right, you get to a point and you stop. But I try to keep everything I work on in SketchUp. For the most part, I try to keep, whether the files, the project's complete, and I have everything in it, or it's not. For one example, I've been designing a dresser for probably about 3 or 4 years. One day I'll get around to building it. It's for us, and it's just something to build because I've never built a dresser before. And it's not all the way done. I go in there and I play with it every once in a while. I may spend 10 minutes working on it, and I may change a few things here or there, but it's an ongoing process until the day I decide to pull the trigger. But even all the ones that, like, I start building out in SketchUp and I get done and they sit, and I'm like, all right, well, this is good. Well, that project gets put on the back burner, or I decide not to do it. For whatever reason, I keep those files because at any point you can always go back into them and be like, now you've created yourself kind of a library of plans essentially for yourself, right? Or where you say, somebody wants this table and you're like, man, I built something in SketchUp similar to that. So now you go over there and you modify it. Now you're spending less time in SketchUp because you've already created some of these processes. And I've done that so many times, especially when it comes to tables. People are like, oh, I want this table. I want it to look like this. You're like, well, I built that version just smaller. You go in there and you just push and pull some things around, stretch them out a little bit, make sure the proportions look right. And you're like, boom, there you go. I spent 30 minutes in SketchUp and have everything I need. So that's why I like SketchUp. The one downfall, like, I really wish they would, like, come to the 21st century. Right? We're still in the 21st century, right? Sure.
Are we?
Yeah, are we? Yeah, sure. I don't know. I still see the Fox 20th century on all the movies and stuff. I don't know. But like, I think
Netflix doesn't upload current.
Yeah. See, dang. Oh man. So that's the biggest thing that, like, I wish they would have some kind of tablet app. Like, I know they have, like, the viewer, iPad viewer or whatever, but I really wish they had a full-fledged, like, SketchUp that would work on a tablet. Because a lot of times, especially when I go to quote, like, some built-ins or something like that, like, I want to be able to, like, quickly just throw, like, a rough model up, like, sitting in the car in front of the client's house or whatever, or sitting at a meeting that I really don't care to pay attention to. I pay attention to every meeting. What am I saying?
Yeah. Scratch that.
Yeah, scratch that. I pay attention to everything I do. Sorry. But I think it would be so much more productive, at least for my workflow, if they had something that worked on, like, an iPad.
100%. Because there's so many times I go to a client's house And I still do that where I want to be involved in the client. So I'm not a production shop. Everything's kind of one-off or a spin-off. And to go to a client's place and be able to, because I do that with pen and paper. I'm like, okay, you want this, but a 3D model, if you're pretty good at it, oh my gosh, that could make or break a sale.
It has brought me more business because I'm able to present a 3D representation to my client, and I'll send them like a video. I'll just do a video recording on my computer and send that video to them through email and say, this is what it's going to be, and I will take them through the model with audio.
Oh, I like that.
And that has landed me several.
So you
jobs.
set up your camera and you just go through and move the thing around while recording, and then
Well, I use
screen
QuickTime. Yeah, I use QuickTime on my Mac and record my screen with audio, me talking, just sitting in front of the computer, and I will go through the model and describe what it is, how this works, why I did this, how it's going to look in your space, and then I send them that through email.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That, like, come on. That, I bet you that has got your more than 50% sales just from doing that.
If not more. Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean, minimum.
And those renderings I will export into a 2D graphic and put them on my invoice as the approved design, and I have them sign off on that. So,
golf clap.
That's
my, I'm writing this down because I won't remember in 2 weeks from now.
Look, that's no fault to you. I'm not gonna remember in 2 weeks from now. I'll be like, hey, Drew,
No.
what was that thing you were saying?
what did you say?
To be
just
real,
make sure
I've been trying to track down a book all day.
Edit that definitely in the podcast.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, I've been. What do you mean? We've been doing this for so long. I don't edit anymore. I hate editing. I'm just like, whatever. Unless you drop like a cuss word, I'll bleep it out. Anything else, it's in there.
Oh yeah. A little fuzzy, but I get the idea.
So I've got the cabinetry over here, the rendering, and then the hardware that I'll be using in the project, and then I have them sign off on it.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
The problem with me is, man, I'm just not good with computers and all that stuff, and it really, I gotta really pay attention. And I mean, with SketchUp, Jay Bates has been huge. Like, I think I've gone back through, I think half of his 100,000 views are from me just trying to learn. So, but I'm just so not good at it. But with anything, just practice, right?
Yeah, and if there's something I don't know on SketchUp, I just go to YouTube and search how to do it, then I implement it.
Yeah.
So Drew, you're quickly off topic here. All your invoices like that right there. Do you do? I mean, obviously, you put it together digitally, but when you present it to the client for their signature, do you present paper copy for them to sign, or do you let them sign it on your iPad, and then print it off or something?
Well, this is going to go into my product recommendation of the week too, because I started using PayPal electronic invoices. And what I do is I fill out a minimalistic invoice through PayPal, and then I attach that invoice that has more detail into that PayPal invoice and send it all as one unit. They'll print out that invoice, they'll sign it, and then they'll email it back to me, or they'll mail it back to me, or if I go meet them in person, they'll sign it off on my iPad.
So the PayPal invoices that's just like their invoice feature that's built into PayPal, right?
Yes.
I didn't even know you could attach it like a file to it like that.
It has to be a PDF or a JPEG. I use PDFs because they're super clear.
Yeah.
But it has made my invoicing so much more streamlined. I don't use the Quicken Loan or the Quicken Self-Employed because I have that app too. But the problem is that I can't do like one overall total. I have to break it up into several different things to get a grand total, and I can't attach my logo like I want.
Yeah.
And PayPal lets me do all of that. I can just do an overall total, which is the half down, and I'll put in the terms and conditions, this is half of the grand total, which includes delivery and shipping. Please see attached invoice for further information. And then I attach the one that I made in Pages and send it through.
Yeah. See, so the invoice software I use through waveapps.com is I love it. It's very user friendly and stuff, but it doesn't have that feature. Like the biggest thing to me, like I used to use the PayPal, but I kind of stepped away from it because like there wasn't enough customization to me. Like it looked like everybody's invoices that came from PayPal was almost the same. Because the template was the same minus like your logo here or there, right? And so I wanted to very like set myself apart, so I started using this other service. But there's a lot of downfalls to that service too, right? So I've really been starting to like think back, like, and how many different like am I doing myself justice by using PayPal for certain things and using Wave apps for certain things and using this other service for certain things? Like I want something that I can use it all, right? I use three services that I know of. 4 if you include like e-commerce, right? I use PayPal for like all my shipping stuff, and that's how we get paid through Patreon is through PayPal. That's how we get paid from like our T-shirt sales and stuff. Our merch sales is through PayPal from Jute Mode. That's how I send you guys your part of it is through PayPal. But then I use Wave apps for like invoicing and bookkeeping, and then I use another app I don't even remember, and I Expensify I think to track mileage, and then I use Square. Not Square. I use the Squarespace Commerce for the website to run like to sell like the plans and the rev markers and all the other stuff. Like there's just so much. Like I want one service to be able to track it, and I don't think like I have all these services, and I don't think any one is particularly good at anything. Like it's just it's kind of troublesome.
You lost me at like,
dude. See,
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, see, I lose myself, man. Like my bookkeeping.
How do you even know that,
bro? My bookkeeping is so far behind for the pure fact of like it's another service that's kind of like complicated. It's done through Wave apps, but it's kind of, and so like I go like 6 months without doing bookkeeping, and then I go in and I'm stressed out because I got to catch up my books, and I hate it. And so like I know going into 2019, like. And I'm starting now to do my research, trying to figure out how to that's the biggest problem in my business, how to fix that. You know, hey, that's a good podcast. That's going to be that's going to be a topic.
Topic on a different day.
We got to find somebody that's good with all that stuff.
Oh my goodness, because you lost me a while ago,
dude. I'm lost.
And I'm not I am so bad at all that stuff too. So if there is one service that is so broad that we can bring together, that'd be amazing. Like someone really smart has to come up with something.
Well, essentially, so that's
I'm not that guy. But.
Essentially, that's what Wave apps did. Like they have all this promising, right? They do invoicing, they do bookkeeping, they integrate in a lot of things, but they're not good at any one of them. Like I think they got their hands so far into a little bit of everything that they're not really good at any of it. They make bookkeeping kind of stressful, and I've gone with it because it's just been a free service that's offered the most pro level benefits for free. But it's complicated, man, and
I wonder how different it is from the U.S. to where I am in Canada, because I have a bookkeeper who is pretty good, and it's fairly simple. Like I just send her everything, and she just makes it work. Yeah. Like, well, I know Drew, you used to. No, not you. Brian McCauley, right?
Yeah.
He was like the IRS guy. Yeah. Which I know is completely different from the U.S. to Canada, but to have someone go over that, oh man, I need someone I need someone like that in my life.
Did you listen to the episode where he was on and talked
I did.
about it? Yeah, see,
Yeah,
so like
lots of eye-opening stuff when he was on.
Oh my gosh, when I listened to that episode, I was like, oh my gosh, is this what I need to do here?
That's it. Dude, it's like some of that stuff. I'm like, whoa, wait, I do that. Okay, let me not do that this year. don't do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean claim all my mileage just because I have a logo on my truck?
A sticker on my truck. Yeah.
I know,
I can't
right?
claim 12,000 miles this year? Nope, it's okay.
Dude, it's an option on TurboTax. Why not?
Yeah. So I don't think TurboTax is good at its job either, but hey, whatever. It gets me my tax every year. But yeah, so I think that's the one of the things I'm going into. So I'm gonna be interested to see over the next couple months, Drew, how the PayPal electronic invoices work out for you, because I like that it right, because it integrates, right. You use the little PayPal like card reader and stuff, right?
Yeah, I got that right here.
Right, so I like the fact that it integrates, because literally everything, right? So if the website runs, I don't even know, a Stripe, like, so I have all these other services that, like, I'm trying to keep up with any one of them, man, and it's so stressful. Like, invoices are paid through Stripe, and the websites does through Stripe, but other things are through PayPal. And I'm just like, dude, this is getting out of hand. So I'm gonna be
PayPal has really simplified how I've been running my business, because I used to do my invoices manually and save them on my computer and periodically check them to see if they've been paid, because I have two folders, one unpaid, one paid, one completed. And if I didn't go back through there manually, or three, sorry, completed, that was something else. But if I didn't go back manually and check those invoices, I would forget about them and not get paid for something. But PayPal, you can set up reminders for things that haven't been paid. You can manually go in and send a reminder to the client that you originally sent the first invoice to. It keeps track of all your contacts. So if you have a repeat customer, all you have to do is type their name in, and it'll automatically pull up their email again. It's super simple to do those invoices through PayPal now. And since I can attach my detailed invoice that I prepare on my computer to that invoice, it sets it apart from all the others that everybody uses through PayPal anyway.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's
nothing but knowledge on the Wood Shop 101.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Yeah.
It's just you just got to get a pen and paper and write it down.
I'm just gonna play it back.
Yeah. All right. Well, my product's gonna actually be.
I hope it has something to do with the boxes behind you.
The boxes behind me.
Because I've been sitting here for an hour looking at that. What is that?
No. Actually, quick rundown. One of those was.
Sorry,
I don't even know what was in the Amazon box, to be real. I get so much Amazon packages, I don't even know what was in that box. I could probably figure it out if I sat here and thought about it for a little bit, but
this is a PG podcast, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't. But the bigger box under it was a dog crate. I ordered a new dog crate. Take the dog out of town this last weekend, and yes, that the dog crate came from Amazon too, because the local pet store wants it was like $85 for like a 35-inch or 37-inch wire metal crate. I got it on Amazon through the Amazon Basics brand for $30. So yeah. So I know what was in that one. I don't remember what's in that smaller one. Dude, I'm telling you, I get so many things from Amazon nowadays that, like, between like me and my wife and my kids. In fact, I know what was in that. My daughter's nap mat.
Wait, your kids are just buying stuff on Amazon?
Oh no, we buy everything for my kids on Amazon. They have
$100 deposit.
They have their own Alexa. They have like their own like little Amazon like a Alexa Dot in their rooms for like music and entertainment and stuff. And I had to like specifically disable the shopping feature from it, because that's all I could hear is like order whatever. But no, so and that box had her nap mat in it. That's right. We ordered a new nap mat for preschool. That's what was in that one. See, I knew if I thought about it long enough. A nap mat?
No.
Like a mat you lay on to take a nap?
Oh, a nap mat.
Yeah, a nap mat.
Oh. News to me, brother.
yeah, like a little mat with a little pillow for her to take a nap on during.
Just put some fluffiness in a pillowcase and say nap mat.
Yeah, I mean you could, but it was like $10. So the last one
even better.
The last one we had lasted like 2 years, 3 years or something. So we just bought a new one.
I never heard of that.
Yeah. There's like little bitty mats that have like a sewn-on blanket and a pillow in them.
Oh, so, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, nap mat.
Nap mat.
Yeah.
My wife might like that.
I'd say I want one. Do they make adult size ones?
Heck yeah.
So, my product this week, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's kind of changed a lot of like how we live kind of day to day. For the last, I don't know, month now, is it going to be an Apple TV? We got rid of cable. I finally just like, I've always said, oh, I hate paying this cable bill. We don't watch all these channels. We don't do this and that. And I finally got tired of just like talking about it. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's pull the plug. We figured it out. And I use it, a combination of services, but things that like I'd already paid for. Like I paid for Netflix no matter what, because my kids watched it. I already have Amazon Prime. So the only thing I added was I went with DirecTV Now. And I paid like $150 for like 5 months or something. And even like at the end of the 5 months, I don't know if we'll even keep that, because like just getting rid of cable and going to have like a streaming device like that has like really changed how I consume content, both through like YouTube, because I can throw it up on the TV and watch it. But I've found that it's been more productive for me, because I don't sit there and just like watch the no nonsense. Like I don't sit down and be like, oh, let me catch like 10 minutes of TV. Let me watch this. Let me watch that, whatever. Like I sit down, I'm like, well, you know what? Like I can turn it on, but there's really not a whole lot that like I care to watch, because it's not cable or all that other stuff. Like, so I get more productive. I get the laptop out and I start working, just having something in the background. Or if I need to reference something, like I'm trying to build a SketchUp plan, I can throw the YouTube up on the TV through the Apple TV, and watch the video up there while I'm trying to design it. So it's definitely changed like how I consume content and how much content I actually consume. So I feel like I've been more productive, not just in like business wise, but family wise. Like I spend more time like just nonsense with the kids, doing whatever. So if you're looking at like a user-friendly service, or a device, and you like Apple, definitely snag an Apple TV. Like everything I have is Apple, so it integrates nicely between like my phones and my computers and everything. So that's why I went with it. I like it. So if you're looking at trying to change or consume your content a different way, definitely look at your Apple TVs.
It's funny you say that, because
so nice of you to join us. Hey, this is funny because we're actually going into her segment too. So,
what's up, Sam?
What's up, guys? Hey.
So glad you could join us.
I know. I have to work late again tomorrow.
On a Friday?
Yeah.
Ugh.
They both travel a lot, and yeah. So.
No, I was just going to say, Jeremy, it's funny. I just had a conversation about Apple TV just yesterday, because we're everything Apple. Mac computers, iPhones, everything. And we're not quite there yet. So it's like, should we or should we not?
So do you have like traditional cable?
We have the minimal.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
What I ended up doing in like the services, so in order for like my wife and everybody to be like okay with us getting rid of traditional cable was I had to have something comparable, at least like the channels that she watched. And when we looked at it, we only watched like 10 channels.
Right.
And that's including like the far stretch, like, oh, I watch one show on that channel.
Yeah.
And so,
Tell me it's not The Bachelor.
no, I don't. She watched. It's something worse.
Drew, you're smiling. Drew, you're smiling.
it's just funny you say that.
Drew watches The Bachelor. Or he applied for The Bachelor 1. I don't know.
Your wife's watching it right now.
I was too good for The Bachelor. They didn't need me.
So we went.
I was married.
We went with the DirecTV service, the DirecTV Now, which is like their streaming, and it was like prepay for 4 months of service or whatever, and you got a free Apple TV 4K. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get 4 months of their service at $40 a month or $35 a month, whatever it was. And people are like, well, why don't you just go spend the $200 or the $180 or whatever for the Apple TV? Well, because I'm actually getting 4 months of comparable cable service. And so that's what we did. I was like, scratch it, dude. Like, who cares about the basic internet? I get all the basic channels through that service. And I got the free Apple TV. So it just worked out, like, to be able to...
Are you recording?
No, we're not. Yes, we are.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm not going to talk if we're recording.
Yes, we are recording.
Sorry.
We're recording.
Yes.
Yeah, we're recording. Don't talk, Sam. Right, Cubby?
But
Jeremy, if you're wanting something that's comparable with
Don't get cocked.
cable,
Cock sucks.
get Sling TV. It's like a little service. It's an app that's on your 4K, your Apple TV 4K, and it's like $30 a month minimum, and then you can add these small little packages that have like DIY Network, HGTV, ESPN.
yeah, so we looked
all
at
that stuff.
Sling, but Sling just actually across the board, like at YouTube TV, all of this streaming services went up, and Sling was one of them. I think Sling's gone up to like $45 now or something to have them if you were not a pre-existing user.
It used to be 20,
Yeah.
so now it's 30, and I think the packages that I have, are 40.
What's the one that you just said, Jeremy? That you got a free TV? Is that still going on or no?
Yeah, DirecTV Now. Yeah,
It's still going on?
yeah. You got to prepay like 4 months of the service, and they send it to you like a week later.
No way.
Yeah, DirecTV Now. So
Y'all are getting screwed.
why?
Man, we get like, I don't know how it is down south, but up here in the north, the Great White North, we just pay, like, service comes through, we just pay a certain amount. That's it. And we get whatever we want.
That's nice.
But what is that certain amount?
Dare I tell you?
It's probably what I pay. That's what I do.
No, I think so. Our cable right now, we have minimal. We have the minimum with. Since I've been off, we added the movie channel, and I think we pay $89 a month, and then we also have internet. So I think our whole total bill is like $109 a month.
That's like us. So we have cable, but we have all of the channels, and then, which we don't need because Cox sucks. We changed from Verizon to Cox and to save money, and it doesn't do any better. And our internet is horrible, and we're paying like way less. But then, like, if you want to add the good internet at Cox, you have to pay like a lot more. But they advertised it was good internet, and then they didn't. Internet.
Yeah.
It's just weird because.
You have to go bleep that out, Jeremy.
No, we're not recording.
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah, we are.
We told you this, Sam.
I even texted it to you.
No, you said we're not.
You said, "Are we recording?" And I texted you, "Yes." Short product recommendation.
Well, let me write here. What is that, like 1
PG.
hour 18?
I think, was it not even 5 minutes ago I said, is this PG? And then
Nope.
Sam comes in and just like, nope, where are?
PG-13
Who
now.
cares?
Wait, so are we still in the first episode at product recommendation?
Yes.
I think we
Well,
are.
we're rounding out. Do you got your show notes up? Because you could actually
Yeah.
flow right into what's new.
We're just having a good time.
Cuss words. That's what's new.
Who edits this for you guys?
Me.
Oh, Jeremy.
Okay, so wait.
When I edit, like I make a note. I need to go to 1 hour and 18 and bleep her out. That's it.
Okay, so here's what's new.
Oh, do you really put notes
Yeah.
as you go along?
We oh yeah, only on stuff like that I got to edit. Like I used to go through and cut out like all the ums and ahs and that was like way too much. I was like, yeah, whatever. We're raw.
Was Drew just saying, boom too often?
Yeah, every time I was like,
No.
hey Drew, boom. Hey Drew,
Well,
boom.
That's the email I got. So we have a send out. I'm not sure if you're familiar. And I was like, yeah, dude, I've seen the show. I know how it works.
Well, look, I started front loading people because like we'll go into it and they'll just be like sitting there looking at us awkwardly as
Yeah.
we do it, and it's like that's a little weird.
Oh, I
dude.
know. I've seen those episodes, and I'm like, oh, you just blew it. I've been practicing.
That's so funny. Okay, so should I
I've
roll
been
into
watching
it?
Yeah.
Drew since he put his epoxy floor in the shop. That was a
That's been
while.
a long time ago.
You should go see his first episode. It's awesome.
I think I was 313th subscriber.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
13. That's a lucky number there.
I'm born on the 13th, actually on a Friday.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm so crazy.
So, all right, Sam. Well, tell us what's
Okay.
new in the
What's
world of
new?
Woodshop 101.
so what's new in the world of Woodshop 101 is our second annual cutting board build off is currently going on, and let me just tell you, my boards are completely done. I finished them today. Done. So hopefully you
Mine
are
are
working on yours.
I haven't even started,
And
and I'm
then,
going out of town for 2 weeks. This can be
Yep.
awesome.
so obviously, who is
Man, I really wish I could have got in on this. thing
I
there.
know.
I'm going to Sam's shop to do my 2 cutting boards.
Yeah, you can come over. That will be fun. And then also remember to grab your rev markers while we still have a few left. They're going quickly, so don't forget that. Also, we have a DC area meetup on the 14th and on the 14th in Northern Virginia at prime time at 6 o'clock. You can message me or Jeremy for more information. And then also one in Richmond area on the 15th, and look at the podcast IG page for more details. We also have a new website that is up now live, and our new cool shirts are on sale. The girls have tanks, and we have kid shirts too,
Yep,
right?
yep. We now have
And we
kid
also
shirts.
have new men's shirts that are really cool, and our logo is all one color, which makes it look pretty sick. So definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
But the website is huge.
Yeah. Finally.
Sam.
That's new, right?
Yeah,
Huh?
it's new. Have
Oh,
you not,
yeah.
Have you not even gone and looked at it?
New. I just worked over 12 hours.
Oh,
I
that's
made it mobile friendly, so you can sit at work and look at it on your phone.
Perfect. I'm gonna look at it right now in a second.
But we finally have a website, people.
Yeah, that's
Woodshop101podcast.com.
Yep. So
That's
it's
very exciting.
not all the show notes are up there yet. It takes a lot to move over 135 episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But there's a majority. There's probably half up there, if not a little bit more. So the rest of them, hopefully by the end of this month, will be fully populated. But we at least have like our 10 newest, and then like our first 50 episodes up. So it's just those middle chunks that not up yet, but it's getting up there.
Nice.
So and we'll post details on our Instagram, both about the website and about the meetups. So if you're in the DC area or the Richmond area, definitely come out. It's gonna be blast. I know the one in Richmond's gonna be at Hardywood Brewery. And that's Adam from Lazy Guy DIY and I are putting that one on. And Sam, you're putting on one with Paul Jackman, right? And
Yep.
Dylan
And Molly and Dylan.
Yep.
So that will be really fun. And it's at a bar called Prime Time here in Northern Virginia. So it's just in Fairfax. So if you're close by, come hang out.
Hopefully everybody blast Sam. Hopefully she will come down on Saturday for our meetup as well. So
I'm going to try really hard because I have a client meeting, but I'm trying to get her to move it to Saturday.
Yeah.
So
it's
I could just bring her with me.
Yeah,
maybe.
go ahead.
Let's go. Come on, guy. Come on.
Can you all do something in Seattle?
Can we do something in Seattle?
Something in Seattle.
We can do something in
That would be
Atlanta.
cool.
Well, I think I'm going to Atlanta next year, so.
That's
But
good.
That would be fun. You
Well,
should. That would
yeah.
be so. I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Everyone just says, gotta go to Atlanta. So I was like, okay, I'm gearing up for that. But if someone could do something in Seattle, that would be amazing. Because Seattle's only like an hour and a half from me.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe we should have to plan a trip out to Seattle.
Oh, no way. You don't live in an igloo?
Do you get by snow by a dog team?
Jeremy, I'm not even kidding, dude. I've had several people say, wait, it's August. How are you posting this right now? And I'm like, because do you know where Seattle is? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, we're pretty much the exact same.
We're not far from Seattle.
It's so bad. So many people get after me about living in an igloo and taking dog sleds to work.
That's so funny.
I don't live in the Arctic North.
Oh God, I play it up to the fullest too. So it's I have fun with it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That's what I do. Because there's people who actually think I live in an igloo. Like, no joke.
That's crazy.
I'm not even smiling.
He's just going to go in his igloo. And if we would like to remind you, if you like this episode, talking about igloos in Canada.
You're editing
with your cable service.
With your cable service and my bad language. Then go listen to our show on iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. It helps us reach a greater audience. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. I wasn't even here the whole time, but it was fun at the end.
Well, that's good.
I'll be here for the next episode.
Jeremy, I looked on the podcast reviews. I noticed that the past couple that we had, I don't know if you saw them, like March and June. We didn't get no 5 stars from them.
What?
No.
That was a big.
Is it 1?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, the last one was 1.
Well, we don't care about him.
We don't.
So, or she. I don't know who it is, but guess what? You don't like it, don't listen. Move on.
Yeah.
Who is it?
What?
I don't know.
But I'll tell you what, we've had 93 ratings, and right now we're rated at 4.5 stars. We've had 77 5 stars.
So that's pretty good.
So, yeah.
Maybe
Every good, there is a bad. And you know what? We're not for everyone, so that's fine.
maybe we should offer an incentive for people that want to go leave us a rating.
Y'all better smile right about now. We're going for 5.2.
Oh, so you look right there.
I haven't posted in a year, but we're in.
This is worth the post.
Oh heck yeah!
I need to take one too.
All right, Drew. Well, if you want to give the contact info, we'll jump off of here and jump into the next episode.
What? You're not having fun?
I am, but we're also at 100. Also at an hour and a half.
Well, it took us about 45 minutes to get going. So,
so Ryan, for those of the audience that don't know who you are, how would they go about getting in contact with you to find out more about you?
First and foremost, check me out on Instagram, MacNWood, and that's primarily where I am. So I'm working on a website, but, head issues. So check me out on Instagram. You can catch me there.
He may refer you to the website that's not even existing yet.
Nah, it's there. I have the domain, but yeah, I'm waiting.
Let's see. Sam, what about you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Sam Ryan Designs, or also on my website, samryandesigns.com, or you can go through the Woodshop podcast and get me there.
With the tagline, better late than never.
Seriously. And I just yawned, and now I'm going to, cry. It's a cry yawn.
Cry yawn.
Don't cry. Dry your eye.
Jeremy, what about you, dude?
You can pretty much find me on Instagram nowadays, which is Country Workshop. You can get me on my website, countryworkshop.com. Or like Sam said, reach out to the podcast. One of us will get it and hopefully make sure it goes to the right person.
Yeah.
Or just look at the awkward conversations that go on in the podcast DM.
Podcast, yeah.
Seriously.
Those are very awkward.
They're so awkward, and I like when I'm talking on the phone to Jay, and I'm like, did you just hear what I just said? And he's like, yeah, totally, the whole thing. And then he's like typing in your guys' group. And then I'm like, are you doing something? And he's like, no, not at all. And I'm like, and then bing. I'm like, ha, caught.
Hey,
He's like, oh, I forgot you can see those.
how many likes are you gonna say?
A lot.
Like.
I like.
Especially because my brain is like this right now. So
Totally like. I like it a lot.
kid. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. Okay.
If you guys want to get in contact with me, you can go to rhwoodshop.com, find all the contact information there. But if you want to get a hold of the podcast, we do have an email, which is kickback@woodshop101podcast.com, along with a voicemail number of 409-234-3959. And don't forget about the voice memo app. If you want to utilize that to send us a voicemail, you can utilize the email that I just mentioned and be featured on air. Give us some kickback questions, whatever, and we will do our best to answer them. So that about wraps up this show. We want to thank Ryan for being our special guest host and Sam for at least coming on the show towards the latter half.
Yep.
So, Ryan, thanks a lot for being on, dude. It's been a blast.
Hey, appreciate it. Anytime.
So,
And,
enjoy that Igloo.
Yeah.
I'll put on my toque next time.
Well, for those of you that are listening, we are going to have Ryan on our next week episode, so be sure and tune in for that. So from Ryan, Jeremy, Sam, and myself, we want to wish you guys well. Please be safe in your wood shops, and we will talk to you guys on the next podcast episode. So 1, 2, 3. Boom!